What do these hidden caves beneath the Euphrates River reveal, with lower water levels, natural cave formations?
Four angels are bound under the Euphrates River, and when they're released, they will kill 1/3 of mankind. They will be
The Euphrates, that sacred river the Bible mentions over 20 times, has now run bone dry. The waters vanished like some invisible hand is draining the life out of the land that cradled the world's first civilization. The riverbeds cracked open with dark, gaping fissures, heat rising in waves, and what's stirring up from down below isn't just dirt. It's secrets buried for thousands of years. You hear it, don't you? Those sounds echoing from the depths, chains dragging, formless screams. The survey team says they felt the ground tremble, like something massive is trying to break free. Thump, thump. It pulses like the heartbeat of hell itself. Then strange lights appeared. Through the rock crevices, they spotted a glowing hoard, ancient coins, dazzling artifacts. But anyone who touched them fell sick or vanished without a trace. Locals call it the cursed gold, buried to lock away humanity's sins. It doesn't stop there. Digging deeper, they uncovered a chilling sight: gigantic skeletons, over 30 feet long, charred bones, and shattered armor. Some whisper these are the remains of the Nephilim, hybrid offspring of fallen angels and humans, wiped out in the Great Flood, now seemingly rising again with the dying river. At night, people near the Euphrates hear crying, moaning, and roars rising from the earth. Every night, it gets louder, like something's calling out to mankind. And weirdly, the sky above turns pitch black, thousands of locusts, bats, and bizarre creatures blotting out the heavens, a dark shroud over a world gasping its last. All of it, what do you think it is? A dried-up river? An ancient prison underground? Wailing sounds? Giant bones? Nature itself is shaking. Could this be the first sign of the Great Tribulation the Bible foretold? The day the four angels bound at the Euphrates are unleashed to bring disaster on 1/3 of humanity? The Euphrates has stopped flowing, and our time is running out. Take a hard look at what's happening around you, because those ancient prophecies might not be warnings anymore. They're becoming reality. Time's almost up. Are you ready for what's coming? If this stuff rising from the Euphrates gives you chills, hit like so. I know you're still with me on this journey. Share the video with friends. They might need to see what's really going down. And subscribe so you don't miss the next signs, because every week the world drops another warning. Now, stick with me to the end of this video, because you won't believe what's slowly coming into view as the ancient riverbed lays bare. From chains rattling in the dark to glowing strange treasures and massive skeletons, everything's pointing to one single event the Bible talked about. And everything will start with the first sign, when the Euphrates River runs dry. The first sign: the river runs dry. Water, the ultimate symbol of life and nourishment, has now vanished, leaving behind an eerie, deafening silence. The Euphrates, once known as the breath of Mesopotamia, is reduced to cracked, sun-scorched earth, barren under the relentless sun. What once sustained millions now exposes a dead riverbed. They say when a sacred river disappears, history itself starts speaking. And right now, those ancient biblical prophecies are echoing louder than ever. The water of the Euphrates will dry up to prepare the way for the kings from the east. Revelation 16:12. This isn't just religious text. It's the opening signal for what's called the Great Purification. In the Bible, the Euphrates marks the line between life and judgment. When it dries up, the final seals are being broken, and whatever's been locked away in the shadows is about to come back. Pilots flying over the area report ground cracked like it's been drained of all energy, temperatures spiking way beyond normal, and thick haze rising in places like smoke straight out of hell. Some dried-up sections reveal strange layered stone structures, like carved stone gates from thousands of years ago. Plenty of people believe this is exactly where the four fallen angels are bound, as mentioned in Revelation 9:14. Release the four angels who are bound at the great river Euphrates. You know what's crazy? Those lines we thought were just metaphors, they're lining up perfectly with what's happening in real life. As the water recedes, deep rumbling sounds come from underground, like metal clanging, like rusted chains shifting after centuries. Locals say they hear voices crying out in the middle of the night, echoing through the empty riverbed, making the whole area feel like it's holding its breath. Scientists call it normal geological activity, but believers say the seals are breaking, and when those chains finally snap, the four bound angels will be set free, kicking off humanity's judgment phase. No one knows exactly when it'll happen, but all the signs are hitting at once. River gone, ground splitting, heat rising, and that chilling silence before the storm. Is this the first warning? The start of a whole new chapter for mankind? If the Euphrates really is the boundary between heaven and earth, then when it vanishes, maybe that line is disappearing too, and everything hidden for millennia is about to be revealed. And are we even ready for what's coming? The second sign: caves and chains in total darkness. If you're still watching this, you probably feel it too. Something's really shifting, not just out in nature, but deep in the gears of history itself. And trust me, what's coming next, you won't be able to look away. The Euphrates is drying up day by day, exposing layers of earth nobody's touched in thousands of years. And right there in the cracked mud and rock, the survey team found a weird entrance, a massive cave, pitch black, like time itself had sealed it shut. The second they stepped inside, the air turned thick, ice cold, bad enough that even the thermal cameras started glitching. Deep in the rock came clanging metal, the scrape of huge chains being dragged, mixed with screams, raspy, warped, nothing human. The people there said it felt like something in the dark was staring right at them. Then, in the panic, someone quoted Jude 1:6. The angels who did not keep their positions of authority, bound with everlasting chains in the darkness until the day of judgment. Could this be the ancient prison? The spot where the four fallen angels are locked up under the Euphrates? Just like Revelation 9:14 warned, release the four angels who are bound at the great river Euphrates. If that's real, then the river drying up isn't just some natural event, it's a warning. Those echoes from underground aren't just falling rocks, they might be chains rattling. Seismic sensors picked up weird tremors. Some cameras caught faint flashes of light that appeared and vanished in midair. And anyone brave enough to get close to the cave says they heard whispers, like voices calling from the abyss. Theology scholars are speaking up. If those four angels are about to be set free, then the prophecy about Judgment Day might be closer than ever. Put all the signs together: the river gone, cave open, sounds rising, and it's not random anymore. It's a wake-up call. The abyss is stirring, and the darkness is starting to move from its sealed tomb. If those chains are really rattling, then maybe that's not just an echo from the earth. It's the sound of Judgment Day calling. The third sign: the cursed treasure. Ever wonder what makes people trade everything, even their lives, for gold? What if I told you that right beneath the Euphrates, they've uncovered a treasure foretold in both the Bible and the Hadith? And the scariest part? It wasn't meant to bless anyone. It was meant to test humanity. As the ancient riverbed dried up, survey teams found old stone chests covered in dust and weird symbols. Inside, not just gold, but artifacts, screaming power, crowns, jeweled swords, statues of gods, the kind of stuff that brought the Babylonian Empire to its knees. They're calling it the cursed treasure, because ever since it was cracked open, disasters started rolling in. Ground splitting, diggers vanishing, locals fleeing in panic. But maybe the real curse isn't in the stones. It's in human greed. An old hadith warned, "A mountain of gold will rise from the Euphrates, and people will slaughter each other over it, until 99 out of 100 are dead." That prophecy doesn't sound far-fetched anymore, because whenever gold shows up, in any form, people still tear each other apart. Consequences be damned. From oil wars to land grabs to power struggles, every purge in history started with greed. The Bible spells it out in 1 Timothy 6:10, "For the love of money is the root of all evil." And maybe that's why the Euphrates treasure isn't a gift. It's a mirror held up to the human heart. Are we any different from the folks back then, ready to trample each other for a mountain of gold rising from the ruins? Maybe the real end times test isn't destruction from above, but greed burning us alive from the inside. So when the Euphrates runs dry, it's not just rocks that surface, it's who we really are. And that might just be the third sign, a heads up that the Great Purge isn't far off. The fourth sign, giant bones. What if I told you they just pulled bones from under the Euphrates that don't belong to any human? Not myths, not movies, real bones, over 10 feet long, stacked between slabs of 1,000-year-old rock. And maybe this is the creepiest sign of all. When a guilty past rises up to remind humanity, nobody escapes judgment. The deeper the archaeology team went into the riverbed, the more stunned they got. Under the floodlights, massive white bones appeared, arm bones 3 times thicker than a normal person's, elongated skulls like they once belonged to some hybrid race. A few fossilized prints still showed giant footprints, and what sent chills down everyone's spine was how neatly they were arranged, as if someone buried them on purpose. Plenty of experts say these aren't just relics. They're proof of a species that lived alongside humans, the ones the Bible calls Nephilim, offspring of the sons of God and the daughters of men. Genesis 6-4 spells it out. There were giants on the earth in those days. They were the mighty men of old, men of renown. But that power brought sin. When people started worshiping strength and flesh, heaven got angry, and the flood came to wipe every trace away. Now, as those skeletons surface from the Euphrates silt, folks are asking, is history repeating itself? A Bible line rings out like a warning. As in the days of Noah, people were eating and drinking, marrying, until the flood came and took them all. Are we living in a new days of Noah, where people chase power, strut with pride, and forget another purge is coming? Not with water, but with fire? Those giant skeletons aren't just ancient artifacts. They're a message from above that sin runs in cycles, and when the loop closes, judgment starts. Just like the Euphrates drying up, the heavens are pulling back to make way for what was prophesied thousands of years ago. And when the wind whistles through those bare joints, you can almost hear a whisper drifting back. Time's up. The old cycle is closing. The Great Purge is getting real close. The fifth sign, the ancient city rises. Ever heard of a city that vanished into a river, only to be found again after 3,000 years buried in mud? Sounds like a legend, but it's actually happening right now. And if those stone walls could talk, they'd probably tell you about a curse for anyone who dared defy heaven. Don't look away, because this part will make you rethink all of human history, and maybe our own future is being rewritten from it. Back in 2022, in the middle of Kurdistan, where the Tigris River had dried up from brutal drought, ancient stone blocks suddenly appeared. Under meters of silt, archaeologists uncovered the ancient city of Mitanni, complete with walls, palaces, carved statues, and clay tablets written in a forgotten language. Experts are calling it a miracle of time, but people who know the Bible see something else. This isn't just a city, it's a warning dug up from the past. Mitanni was once a mighty empire, so rich it was described in ancient inscriptions as the kingdom of the sun. They worshipped gods of war, believing gold and power were the measure of eternity. But like Ezekiel 28:5-7 says, "Because you were proud of your wealth, I will bring foreigners to destroy you." And that's exactly what happened. They disappeared, wiped off the map, buried in the very river they once bragged about. What really gives researchers chills is the timing of its return. right when humanity is facing global drought, extreme floods, and spreading wars all over again. It's like heaven is flipping back through the old pages, reminding us every empire built on pride falls when the water runs out. Some say this city didn't just appear by chance. It's a sign of the great cleansing coming soon, when everything buried in the past rises up to judge the present. Because every stone, every broken statue isn't just an artifact. It's proof of a divine warning. They thought they'd last forever, until they were forgotten for 1,000 years. Looking at those ruins, you can't help but wonder, are we walking the same path today? Building new empires on tech, money, and power? Forgetting that everything has limits before the Creator? If so, then this ancient city rising isn't just an archaeological event. It's the fifth sign, a wake-up call from deep in the earth, telling humanity, once pride outruns grace, history will bury it all again, just like it did 3,000 years ago. What do you think? Is this just coincidence, or part of a plan set in motion since Genesis? Stick around till the end of the video, because what's coming next might give you goosebumps when you realize the past never really sleeps. The sixth sign, echoes from the earth's core. Ever heard the ground breathe? Not an earthquake, not machinery, just a low, muffled rumble rising from deep beneath the river, like something down there is trying to wake up. If you know about the trumpets of judgment in Revelation, this part will give you chills. People living along the Euphrates say every night the earth lets out these deep, dull booms, sounding like metal clanging together, or a horn from the depths. And the weirdest part? It only happens when the river hits its lowest level ever recorded. As the water keeps dropping, those strange echoes get louder and clearer. At first, everyone figured it was the ground cracking, but recording equipment picked up frequencies with a structure almost like the rhythm of a trumpet. Some believe it's the trumpet of judgment from Revelation 9:15, signaling 4 fallen angels about to be unleashed. The 4 angels who are bound at the great river Euphrates will be released to kill 1/3 of mankind. Revelation 9:15. That verse sat dormant for thousands of years, sounding like pure metaphor. But now, with the whole world watching the river dry up, the ground shaking, and trumpets echoing, people are starting to wonder, are the final seals actually coming undone? Scientists throw out theories left and right. Seismic sound waves, gas venting from deep layers, natural resonance. Yet they can't explain why the noise follows a cycle, or why it only shows up around the Euphrates, the exact river named in the Bible's final prophecy. The sound itself is faint, but it's enough to make your skin crawl. Because if Scripture is right, that trumpet is the opening call for the Great Purge, when the world is no longer judged by water, but by fire. What do you think? Just a natural phenomenon? Or a wake-up call from above? If you want to know what happens after that trumpet, stick around, because the next part reveals the final wonder, where humanity's silence might be the answer heaven's waiting for. The final sign, locusts, demons, and a giant stone gate. Not a storm, not clouds. What blotted out the sky that day was billions of pitch-black creatures, thick as smoke, screeching like burning metal. From the air, planes couldn't tell where the wind ended and the wings began. Scientists call it a rare natural phenomenon. But where it started, in the heart of the Rub' al Khali Desert, archaeologists just unearthed a stone gate taller than a 3-story building, carved with a half-human, half-beast figure, wings spread like a living shadow. And when the sun set, the first wave of dust poured from the cavern mouth below. A day later, the sky was gone. That's what you'll witness in the final sign. At dawn, swarms of massive locusts swallowed the light. Their wings clashed like thunder, blacking out the skies over the Middle East. Deep underground, crews found piles of bizarre corpses, half bat, half human, with wings spanning over 6 feet. Some witnesses swear they didn't come from anywhere. They crawled straight out of the cracking earth. Right beside the site, the team uncovered a colossal stone gate, over 30 feet high, covered in ancient script. Etched on its surface, a winged, clawed creature, exactly like Revelation 9:2-3 describes. Smoke rose from the abyss, and the sun and sky were darkened by it. Out of the smoke came locusts upon the earth. A prophecy written thousands of years ago, now playing out in the exact place the Bible pointed to. They're calling the gate the Nephilim portal, the prison of fallen beings from before the flood. Some theologians say if this gate is truly open, it's the opening shot of Armageddon. The war between angels and darkness, between light and sin, is no longer a metaphor. It's about to go live. Scientists are stumped. They blame climate change for the locust swarms, call the underground rumbling natural. But if it's natural, why does it match every detail of ancient prophecy? Why are all the signs converging around the Euphrates, the border between life and the abyss? And when the sky goes dark under the locust wings, people hear a sound like trumpets echoing from afar. That sound makes some look up, others drop to their knees, because they know, if the Nephilim gate is really open, this isn't just the Middle East problem. It's the beginning of humanity's great reckoning. The world is whispering a strange language, from the heart of the earth, the riverbeds, all the way up to the sky. And if you pay attention, every sign, every phenomenon is slowly clicking into place like pieces of an ancient prophecy. Is this no longer coincidence, but a schedule already written? When the Euphrates River starts drying up, thousands of eyes turn to the Middle East. Scientists say it's just the fallout from climate change, from dams blocking the flow. But those who believe the Bible whisper a line written thousands of years ago. When the Euphrates runs dry, the way will be opened for the kings from the east. Revelation 16:12. And sure enough, the riverbed cracks open, revealing a string of things no one saw coming. Ancient bones, buried treasure, lost cities, and even massive stone gates someone tried to hide for 1,000 years. Each fragment, when pieced together, tells a chilling story. A civilization that once strutted in arrogance, calling itself children of the gods, vanished in a single night. They built fortresses to defy the heavens, dug deep bunkers to escape judgment, but in the end, the earth swallowed them whole. Ezekiel's words echo, "Because you were proud of your wealth, I will bring foreigners to destroy you." And then, from the cracked, hardened mud, strange sounds rise up, a low, muffled trumpet, like it's coming from deep underground. No one knows where it's from, but it gives you goosebumps, because in Revelation 9, that very trumpet is the signal that the angels chained in the abyss are about to be released. Researchers try to explain it's just gas escaping, or rocks cracking under the river. But can a simple crack produce a metallic clang, like some gigantic door is swinging open? From those trumpets to swarms of black locusts blotting out the sky, from half-human, half-beast carcasses to stone gates carved with winged figures, it all feels less like legend now, and more like the warning signs of an era we were told was coming, the time of the Great Purge. Smoke rises from the abyss, and from the smoke come locusts upon the earth. Revelation 9:2-3. Anyone watching closely can see it. Every event is a chapter in the book of Revelation, turning page by page. The drying river is the opening. The rising ancient city is a flashback to the past. The trumpet is the wake-up call. And the stone gate may be the point of no return for this world. But the scariest part might not be the signs themselves, but how people keep ignoring them. Instead of looking up, they bow their heads, crunch numbers, argue, and smile while the cracks spread beneath their feet. When people think they can control everything, that's exactly when they're about to lose it all. The prophecies aren't here to spread fear, but to wake up a conscience that's fallen asleep. Because the world won't be destroyed in some random fit of rage, it'll collapse under its own arrogance and greed. From those stones at the bottom of the Euphrates, heaven is knocking. Wake up, because the world's clock is about to strike midnight. It was in Aram. When the water recedes, it's not just the riverbed that shows up, it's the raw soul of humanity laid bare. Every inch of cracked mud, every sun-bleached rock is whispering the same brutal truth. Nothing stays buried forever. No sin can hide under centuries of silt. The Euphrates, the river that cradled the very first human civilization, is down to bare stone. Stuff hidden for thousands of years is crawling into daylight. Giant skeletons, lost treasure, carved stone gates, and signs that make the whole world shiver. But the scariest part isn't what we're finding. It's how quiet everyone's staying while heaven screams a warning. We've spent generations acting like we own the planet. We dam rivers, gut mountains, shoot rockets at the stars. Then the water vanishes. The ground shakes. Blood-red clouds roll in, and every ounce of that swagger turns to dust. The world isn't in danger from earthquakes or droughts. It's in danger from our own arrogance. When we forget where we came from, when cash matters more than faith, that's when the river inside every soul starts running dry. When the water recedes, it's not just the riverbed that shows up, it's the raw soul of humanity laid bare. That line hits like a church bell at 3 a.m., slipping into any heart still willing to listen. Because every one of us has an Euphrates, a private river of belief and kindness, drying up a little more every day. If there's anything to do right now, it's not Googling for answers. It's dropping to your knees. Pray every single day, not to dodge judgment, but to find peace while the storm rages. Be grateful. Do good. Even the tiniest act of kindness is cool water poured on a parched world. Say sorry while you still can. Say I love you. Sometimes salvation doesn't come with thunder. It comes wrapped in mercy. Trust God, the only one who can pull us out of the pit we dug ourselves. Only faith can carry us through the great cleansing, when money, power, and PhDs won't save a faithless soul. When the 4 angels are unleashed, when the last trumpet finally sounds, will we even have time to hit our knees? Or will we keep chasing fake neon until the dark swallows us whole? The Euphrates is drying up, and so is human pride. The clock's ticking loud. The signs are neon bright. The only choice left is wake up or keep snoring inside a lie. If you feel in your gut this isn't random, drop a little signal below this video. A like, a share, a subscribe. It's not just support. It's you passing the wake-up call farther down the line. Because somewhere out there, somebody needs to hear this exact second. While the Euphrates runs dry and the sky loads the final trumpet, let faith be the one river still flooding your heart.
The Colorado sky can put on an amazing show of light.
Quite interesting, quite interesting.
Not go well today.
Chaos in southern Gaza after the Gaza humanitarian.
The sky over the Mount of Olives suddenly showed a strange sight. No one could explain what it was, but everyone was sure. The Lord has come back. In November 2025, a weird weather event appeared in the sky over Jerusalem, the city of messianic signs, the oldest and holiest place on earth, always at the heart of history and prophecy. From the Old Testament to the New, this spot has seen countless miracles. From God's presence in the temple to Jesus' rising to heaven, videos spread like wildfire online, putting Jerusalem back in the world's spotlight. On the Mount of Olives, clouds shaped like angels and crosses hung in the air, drawing every eye upward. Prophets and Christian communities all gave the same answer: the Lord has come. Do you believe it? As for me, I believe he really has returned. And right now, I'll take you on a journey to explore and unlock the meaning behind these amazing events. Are you ready? First off, we're going to look together at these strange clouds that shook the whole world in Jerusalem. You'll hardly believe your eyes when you see images that seem like they're from a movie or edited on a computer. but now they're right there in real life, seen by thousands of folks and caught on their phones. In November 2025, the sky over Jerusalem suddenly got weird. Clouds shaped like angels, crosses, or mysterious rings showed up right above the Mount of Olives, east of the Old City. This thing grabbed attention from all over the globe and became the big talk on every social media site. Videos spread like wildfire, putting Jerusalem back in the spotlight for stuff that's hard to explain. On the X forum, hashtags like Jerusalem Clouds, Mount of Olives Miracle, and Sign from God were everywhere. A video posted on November 3 by the account Sniggyhire captured the odd cloud over the Mount of Olives with a quote from Zechariah 14:4. On that day, his feet will stand on the Mount of Olives, east of Jerusalem, and the Mount of Olives will be split in two from east to west. The video quickly hit over 1,800 views, with comments pouring in. A sign the Lord is coming back. On November 8th, PsychProGen tweeted, "The Lord comes on the clouds. His feet touch the Mount of Olives and split Jerusalem in two." The post got hundreds of retweets, with comments arguing about the end times. Around the same time, Astromundane shared pics of clouds from Jerusalem and Cannes in France, suggesting it might be some special weather thing, but it got the Christian crowd believing in a holy sign. It wasn't just social media. YouTube videos caught it too. One from August 2025 got shared a ton in November, showing the Mount of Olives like it was cracking, covered in weird clouds. And a lot of people saw it as a sign Jesus is coming back. At the same time, on November 5, Charisma magazine reported on a worship awakening in Jerusalem, with shots of the clouds taken at the Tower of David near the Mount of Olives, getting believers everywhere all stirred up. On Facebook and Quora, hot discussions blew up about crosses in the sky over Israel. Some folks said it was a message from God, while others explained it as unusual clouds from Mediterranean winds. But nobody could deny how strange and exact the shapes were. This isn't the first time. Back in 2015, a trumpet cloud ring showed up over Jerusalem's sky, and NASA said it was from air pressure making the shape. But in 2025, with all the tense politics in the Middle East, a lot of people think it's an end-time sign, some mysterious message from above. What makes this one special is all the different cloud types showing up at once. Angel shapes, crosses, even rings like trumpet sounds. The videos catch every detail clear: the swirling cloud wings, sunlight bouncing off, weird geometric light streaks. Folks watching feel like they're in a supernatural movie scene, but it's not staged at all. The event got backed up by reports from real eyewitnesses. Witnesses said strange sounds like trumpet blasts happened right when the clouds appeared. Some videos show light reflecting off the clouds, moving in angel wing patterns, looking alive and super unusual. These things even made scientists and weather experts stop, take note, and talk about it. Social media posts keep bringing up the prophecy in Zechariah 14:3-5. Then the Lord will go out and fight against those nations. He will have compassion on Jerusalem. His mountain valley will widen, and the Lord my God will come with all his holy ones. This quote has many believers linking it straight to the strange clouds, seeing it as God stepping in. Some researchers warn it could be natural causes. They point out winds from the Mediterranean, mixing with the Mount of Olives terrain, create a rain shadow effect, forming lenticular clouds or rings. NASA explains something like the 2015 event the same way. But the 2025 stuff is happening with big political and religious changes, so the believer community can't ignore the spiritual meaning. From a Bible angle, the Mount of Olives is where God's presence, the Shekinah, moved after the temple was destroyed. Ezekiel 11:23. Christians believe that's where Jesus will return, like the rising sun. Malachi 4:2. So these clouds feel like a warning, reminding folks of God's promise of salvation and help. Not just photos and videos, media reports highlight how odd it all is. Charisma magazine noted, hundreds of believers in Jerusalem saw clouds covering the Mount of Olives, strange shapes, vivid reflecting light, like it was designed by a supernatural hand. This info boosts the spread and trust in the event. The whole thing sparked a wave of talk about the end of the world. Posts connected to ancient prophecies, especially Zechariah 14, getting Christians worldwide watching every video, photo, and hashtag. They see it as a chance to wake up, pray, and get their faith ready. And do you know why they can be so completely sure about that? With absolute certainty? It's because these natural phenomena match up in an amazingly strange way with the ancient prophecies in the Bible. I'll connect each specific event for you so you can really picture the whole scene. Those clouds shaped like angels and the cross sign right away bring to mind Zechariah 14:4. On that day his feet will stand on the Mount of Olives, east of Jerusalem, and the Mount of Olives will be split in two, from east to west. The sight of clouds swirling around the mountaintop makes many believers think straight to this prophecy. The light shining down on the Tower of David and forming a cross reflection in the video reminds folks of Exodus 13:21, where the Lord goes ahead of his people in a pillar of cloud. By day the Lord went ahead of them in a pillar of cloud. Those beams of light moving like they're leading the way for Jerusalem feel like a living proof of the Bible's words. The sound, like trumpet blasts ringing out in rhythms, makes a lot of people remember Revelation 1:7. He is coming with the clouds, and every eye will see him. The swirling clouds and shining lights call to mind the Lord's appearing among people, real and mysterious all at once. The clouds circling the mountaintop and the changing light reflections act like they're interacting with the witnesses, reminding of the Shekinah glory, the Lord's presence on the Mount of Olives after the temple was destroyed. Ezekiel 11:23. Many believers see these lights and cloud movements as guidance, a sign that the Lord is watching and protecting. The beams of light hitting straight down on specific spots also bring to mind Malachi 4:2. The Sun of Righteousness will rise with healing in its rays. The areas lit up feel like a signal of hope, guiding Jerusalem, tying into the promise of salvation and lasting peace. Each swirling cloud ring, changing light, and sounding blast all echo the prophecy in Zechariah 14:5, his holy ones with him. This event feels like both a warning and encouragement, reminding people to stay awake for the Lord's return. The beams of light, forming shapes like angel wings, reflecting through the cloud rings, make viewers think of Psalm 104:3, where the Lord makes the clouds his chariot. It turns the experience real and divine, blending science and faith, sending a strong message. The Lord can show up anywhere. The light piercing through clouds, forming crosses and angels mixed with trumpet-like sounds, leads many believers to Matthew 26:41. Watch and pray so that you will not fall into temptation. It's a reminder to get spiritually ready and hold faith amid the signs. Those moving pillars of light, swirling cloud rings, and flashing beams in rhythm all bring believers back to Revelation 14:14. I looked, and there before me was a white cloud, and seated on the cloud was one like a son of man. This feels like a living picture of the prophecy, leaving folks curious and thoughtful. The rays shining down on ancient Jerusalem's landscape give a sense of guidance, like the prophecy in Ezekiel 37:1-14 about revival and God's presence among people. The clouds aren't just weather, they carry deep meaning, linking past, present, and future promises. The witnesses feel something different, with light beaming down, clouds swirling, sounds ringing out, like a holy presence watching every human move. This event stands as living proof of God's promises and Bible warnings, urging believers to keep strong faith and stay alert. Before we dive into the prophecies, let's look at what scientists say about that strange cloud over the Mount of Olives. Is there a simple natural explanation, or is something beyond reason still waiting for us? Meteorologists think the odd shapes in the sky come from Mediterranean winds hitting the mountain's unique shape. When moist air from the sea slams into the slopes, It forms rare lenticular clouds or ring clouds, and sunlight hitting them makes images that look like angel wings or a cross. NASA studied something similar back in 2015, when trumpet-shaped cloud rings showed up over Jerusalem. They said high air pressure mixed with heavy humidity and even smoke from airstrikes in Gaza and Lebanon could create these weird forms. Bottom line, a perfect match of nature and weather. But here's the odd part. In November 2025, it happened right in the middle of extreme political tension, making the whole thing feel more alive than ever. Scientists agree the cloud shapes are natural, but they can't explain why the light and sounds lined up so perfectly, giving an almost supernatural experience. There's no scientific proof of anything supernatural, yet these signs match Bible descriptions. In Exodus 13:21, a cloud led God's people. Revelation 1-7 says, "He comes with the clouds." An angel image in the sky could be a natural sign that people see as God's presence, even if science can't prove it. This event really shows science's limits when something feels both natural and holy. Believers feel the light and sounds like a direct message from God, while weather experts can only describe the physics and not why it happened right then. That mystery is what makes the November 2025 cloud such a mix of science and faith, logical yet magical. Viewers stand there, trusting the weather explanation but feeling something divine. It's that thin line between nature and the divine, reason and faith, opening the door to things we haven't figured out yet. From a science view, the cloud is just physics. From a faith view, it's a sign, proof of ancient prophecies, showing nature can mirror what the Bible wrote thousands of years ago. The blend of logic and belief, mystery and answers, makes this so fascinating that anyone wants to dig deeper into what's happening on the Mount of Olives. With science completely stumped, let's try looking at this strange thing through the Bible's eyes to figure it out. When reason runs out of answers, faith and prophecy start dropping some surprising clues. In the Bible, clouds often stand for angels and God's presence. Psalm 104:3 says, "He makes the clouds his chariot and rides on the wings of the wind." And Luke 21:27 talks about the Lord coming in a cloud with power and great glory. That's why those pictures of angel wings and a cross over the Mount of Olives aren't just clouds to a lot of believers. They see them as signs of God stepping in. These clouds showed up right when things were at their worst in Gaza and Jerusalem, which makes the whole thing feel even more meaningful. Zechariah 14 describes the Lord standing on the Mount of Olives to get involved in the middle of war, and this weird cloud seemed to shake the whole city, like it was saying God's power is right there in the smoke and destruction. The videos and social media clips are so clear that people watching feel like they're seeing something science can't touch. It's not just the clouds. Other amazing things, like the holy fire at the tomb of Christ back in April 2025, send the same kind of signals, tying right into political and military stuff like failed ceasefires. Every time one of these signs pops up, it lines up with the tension, creating a string of events that a lot of Bible scholars say is God reminding and warning us. Plus, the Bible stresses that angels and clouds aren't just symbols, they're ways God guides, protects, and warns people. Those clouds in November 2025, along with sounds like trumpet blasts, feel like a direct heads up. God's power is always there, even when it seems like nothing but fighting and chaos. Science can't fully explain these signals, but the Bible gives a bigger picture where nature and the divine mix together, where every cloud, every light, and every sound turns into a mysterious message. Folks watching get pulled in by the sights and feel something beyond the natural, sparking curiosity and awe, like they're seeing a prophecy come alive right in front of them. This strange cloud thing from November 2025, when you put it in a Bible context, bridges science and faith, the natural and the divine. It makes you wonder, is this just weather playing tricks, or God's way of reminding us of His power and presence in the middle of all the mess? The question hangs open, keeping the curiosity going and pushing anyone brave enough to dig deeper into the mystery of the Mount of Olives. And can you believe it? While the whole world is still in shock and scientists can't come up with a good explanation, that old book already knew about this centuries ago. It talks about it in every line, back when people were too far behind to notice the signs from him. It's hard to believe, but that's what makes the story so exciting. You can't look away. Zechariah 14 starts with a warning, predicting the day the Lord steps in. Battles, the takeover and destruction of Jerusalem. Then the moment no one can imagine, his feet standing on the Mount of Olives and the mountain splitting in two. The north half shifts one way, the south half the other, opening a wide valley, making room for the Lord and his people. This picture makes people today think of those strange clouds over the Mount of Olives in November 2025. Swirling cloud columns, flashes of light like angel wings, sounds like trumpets echoing, creating a scene that feels mysterious and thrilling to anyone watching. The match between nature and prophecy gives a lot of folks the chills. In the video from Sniggyhire, white clouds spin around the mountaintop. Light flickers like a signal. Sometimes the light splits and forms a clear cross. Viewers say it feels like watching a living miracle, where nature and the divine come together. Zechariah wrote this prophecy around 520 BC, when Jerusalem faced powerful enemies, foretelling the Lord's intervention to save his people. The mountain splitting and the valley opening are symbols of rescue and protection, which believers today see right in those angel-shaped clouds on the mountain. The strange sounds in the videos, like trumpet blasts in rhythm, bring to mind Revelation 1:7. He is coming with the clouds, and every eye will see him. The rhythm of light and sound fits together like heavenly music, leading many to believe the November 2025 signs are a warning of the Lord's return. The spinning cloud rings form angel wings, shining on specific spots on the Mount of Olives. Many see this as living proof of Zechariah 14:5, where it says, "The saints will come with him, stepping out from the valley opened by the Lord's hand." The light leads the way, clouds swirling like they're guiding everyone watching. From a Jewish view, the Mount of Olives is where the Shekinah, the presence of the Lord, moved after the temple was destroyed. Ezekiel 11:23. When the light shines down, clouds spin, sounds ring out. Witnesses feel a clear sign of presence, a signal Zechariah warned about over 2,500 years ago. Some videos show beams flashing in rhythm, spinning, forming circles, and long arms like they're leading. Viewers can't look away, feeling both scared and curious. From a Bible angle, this recalls Malachi 4:2. The Son of Righteousness will rise with healing in its wings. The light shining down feels like a promise of salvation and guidance for his people. The November 2025 cloud event is like a live picture of Zechariah 14:4-5, where his feet touch the mountain, creating a big valley and opening the way for the Lord's appearance. The light pillars, spinning cloud rings, echoing sounds, all blend into a living miracle, making believers feel ancient history and today are meeting right on the Mount of Olives. The images of light shining on the old city, spinning clouds forming angels, echoing sounds. Many connect this straight to Exodus 13:21, where the Lord led his people with a pillar of cloud. This event feels like living proof of divine presence among us, both natural and supernatural. The light beams reflecting through the cloud rings also remind of Revelation 14:14. I looked, and there before me was a white cloud, and seated on the cloud was one like a son of man. The strange match leaves viewers curious and filled with a feeling that's hard to put into words. Witnesses in Jerusalem describe light hitting specific spots, clouds spinning, sounds ringing out, giving the sense the Lord is watching every human move. It's a clear picture of intervention and guidance, just like Zechariah's prophecy, making hearts quiet and alert. Looking deep into the Bible, the light and cloud rings aren't just images. They're signs for his people to recognize the Lord's presence. The light pillars forming crosses and angel wings, mixed with the sounds, help watchers see that what was written in Zechariah 14 over 2,500 years ago is happening right in front of them. Jewish people see this as the Shekinah returning. Christians see it as the place Jesus will come back. The Mount of Olives, with its spinning clouds, piercing light, trumpet-like sounds, becomes a holy gateway, opening an era the ancient prophecies warned about and promised. Videos from Astro, Mundane, Snigineer, and PsychProGen keep getting shared, turning the scene into a worldwide phenomenon. Every little detail, light beams, cloud rings, sounds, feels mysterious and hard to believe. This is living proof that Zechariah 14 isn't just old history, but a living warning for today. When light shines into every corner of the old city, spinning clouds form angels, sounds ring out, viewers clearly feel the sign of divine appearance. Every small detail ties back to Zechariah 14, reminding us the Lord isn't just watching, He's guiding, opening the way for His people and warning the wicked. The flashing light pillars, spinning cloud rings, echoing sounds keep watchers glued. It all blends nature and the divine, proving Zechariah 14 predicted this centuries ago. The Mount of Olives becomes a living symbol where history and prophecy meet. This event helps many believers realize what seemed like myths or movie scenes is now right in front of us. The strange clouds, light, and sounds appearing together, combined with Zechariah 14's prophecy, bring a feeling of awe and certainty that the Lord is at work. The light beams forming crosses, cloud rings spinning around the mountaintop, trumpet-like sounds, all mix into an experience that's both real and mystical. Jewish people call it Shekinah, Christians call it Jesus' return, and every detail matches Zechariah 14 to 3 to 5, leaving hearts curious and calm. With all these events happening, the world is still in chaos. Tensions are rising, economies are in crisis, and armed conflicts are shaking up politics everywhere. We'll look into how those strange clouds over Jerusalem might connect to all this. It makes me wonder if this is the moment marking the glorious return of the Lord. Right now, the Gaza Strip and its fragile ceasefire are the center of every fight. From November 7 to 9, 2025, heavy Israeli airstrikes took the lives of many civilians, leaving the world in shock. At the same time, a weird cloud appeared over the Mount of Olives, just about 70 kilometers from Gaza. It seemed to cover the whole city in a mysterious mist, like it was saying, "This is the moment the Lord is watching and stepping in." From a Bible point of view, Zechariah 14:2 talks about all the nations gathering against Jerusalem, its walls broken down. What's happening on the ground now reminds many believers of that prophecy. The cloud is seen as a valley of escape, a place where God's people will find protection in the middle of chaos and violence. It's not just Gaza. Lebanon and Iran are big players too. With 28,000 rockets from Hezbollah and Iran since 2023, and plans to launch 2,000 more, these threats are tied by many to the nations. In Zechariah 14:2, the cloud over the Mount of Olives stands right in the middle of this war stage, signaling the Lord's power showing up as nations gather against Israel. From a Christian view, this is also a birth pain sign of the end times. Like Matthew 24:8 says, "All these things are just the beginning of the pains." The political military storm and the mysterious cloud seem to go hand in hand, keeping eyes glued to Jerusalem, the place of so many miracles and prophecies. The global economy is feeling it too. The Middle East war is driving up energy prices, hitting markets from Europe to Asia. Economists say the chaos in Jerusalem and nearby areas is raising geopolitical risks, creating the same urgent feeling Zechariah describes about the day the Lord steps in. The timing of all this has people asking, is this angel cloud just weather? It shows up right in the middle of war, missile attacks, and economic crisis. A chain of events that, according to prophets, signals the Lord's return. Real life and prophecy seem to blend, creating an experience that's thrilling and scary, making viewers wonder about supernatural power shaping history. Recent events like the holy fire at the Lord's tomb in April 2025, or heavenly signs over Jerusalem's sky, all tie into a chain of signals in theology, linking nature and people. These clouds, lights, and strange sounds aren't just physical things. They're messages of warning and guidance, highlighting the Lord's power in a chaotic world. Overall, this angel cloud appearing amid military tension, political conflict, and global economic crisis, when seen with Zechariah 14 and Revelation 1-7, has a pull that's hard to resist. Viewers feel the urgency, the mess of today's world, but also a light of hope and supernatural power at work. Like every event is being arranged to warn and guide humanity. The data, photos, and videos spreading on social media make it all feel closer. Every tweet, every clip is a piece of the big picture, taking people from curiosity to excitement, even awe. The mix of hot battlefield reality and heavenly signs creates an experience that's both scientific and mysterious, keeping watchers hooked on every hour's developments. In the end, we see it's not just science or politics. Scripture, nature, and history are all telling a mysterious story together. This angel cloud isn't just an atmospheric thing. It's a divine message sent to the world in a time of chaos and danger. Viewers aren't just watching, they're witnesses to a moment prophets described, where the Lord's power shines through humanity's upheavals. Right in front of us are the signs that nature or God is giving us, reminding us of the promise in Zechariah 14. He will come back, save Jerusalem, and bring lasting peace in the middle of all this political and military mess. What do you think? Was that cloud in November 2025 just weather or a miracle? Me, I believe it's the same old message ringing out loud and clear. Stay awake, get your heart ready, and put your trust in the Lord. Jesus told us, stay awake and pray, Matthew 26-41. It's not just for special days. It's a call to live every single moment to the full. Be thankful for what you've got. Live by faith. And keep praying for peace in places torn apart like Gaza, Lebanon, and Israel. That kind of faith will calm your heart and open it up to the holy things. Let the light of faith guide everything you do. Get a clean, honest, loving heart, ready to meet the Lord anytime. Every prayer, every kind act is a brick in the wall of peace and part of getting ready for the day He returns. In a world full of chaos, every one of us can be a little light, spreading hope and love. Staying awake isn't just spotting signs. It's living each day with duty, compassion, and trust in God's power. Those clouds over Jerusalem might be a warning or a miracle, but the main message is the same. Get your soul ready to welcome Him. Think about your life. Have you lived with real gratitude, prayed for peace, kept a good heart? Every small thing you do can be a thank you to God. Every day you stay awake brings you closer to Him. If the cloud is a warning, don't hesitate. If it's a miracle, let it strengthen your faith. And finally, hold on to your faith. Keep your soul clean. Stay thankful and never stop praying. Share what you've seen, pictures or stories of the signs over Jerusalem, in the comments. Keep an eye on the signs, watch the world, but always keep God at the center. We can all be watchmen, healthy, loving, and ready. So when He comes back, our hearts are clean and shining with faith. If this video touched you, hit like to show support. Share it with friends and family to spread the wake-up call. Don't forget to subscribe so you catch the next mysterious signs and explore the unsolved puzzles of the world with us. Every click you make is part of the journey to wake up and get our hearts ready for the Lord.
American people reclaimed our government. We restored our sovereignty. We lost a little bit of sovereignty.
The bright green flash is thought to be from the nickel in the metallic meteor burning in Earth's atmosphere.
The court granted the administration's request, sending the case back to a circuit court.
Trump's comeback has kicked off a bunch of weird stuff. Is this good news for the world? 2025. America's shaking. Donald Trump's back in the White House, and some strange wave is rolling from the sky right down to politics. Meteors hanging around, trade firestorms, diseases popping up again. It all feels like a wink, warning something big's coming. You feel it too? The world ain't the same. That 16th century prophet Nostradamus wrote 942 four-line poems in Les Prophecies, full of riddles. Some folks read about a great king, a big leader from the West, bringing change but also fire from above. Quatrain X 72 says, "From the sky will come a great king of terror." Ring a bell? The Bible, Daniel 7, warns about empires and a little horn rising, the Antichrist, or end times leader, stirring chaos, but paving the way for God's kingdom. Could Trump be playing that part? And this is just the start. The great king's return is triggering 7 mysterious signs right here in the USA. Don't miss a single clue, because maybe you're the one who'll figure out the right answer. Is Trump the Antichrist, or the great king the prophecies talked about? Right now, let's dive in together, where ancient predictions meet 2025 reality. Are you ready? Before we dive into checking out 7 weird things popping up all over America right now, let's step back a bit to those old predictions from hundreds of years ago. This'll help you figure out for yourself, what's Trump really here for? Nostradamus talked about a great king, a big leader coming down from the sky. He wrote about a great king showing up from the sky. Is he a savior or a sign of trouble? Let's look straight at Quatrain X 72 and see what it says. The year 1999, 7th month. From the sky will come a great king of terror, to bring back to life the great king of Angol Moya. The picture here is a king dropping in from the sky, powerful and scary all at once. A lot of folks today think this great king is a Western leader, coming back strong after some huge event, and plenty tie it right to Donald Trump. Ken Bist, in his book Nostradamus and the Great Quatrains, points out that 75% of the quatrains tie into WW3 in 2025, with the great king starting fire from the sky, maybe nuclear war, natural disasters, or total chaos worldwide. Modern sites like Money Control or Penn Live connect this quatrain to Trump too. His comeback could spark wars so cruel, Quatrain 6, 97, from trade fights to diseases coming back. It doesn't stop there. Trump also gets called the false trumpet in Quatrain 1st, 87. The great shameless audacious baller. He's the great king bringing luck from Mars, meaning war, fights, and big changes, but also leading the West toward decline, Quatrain X 72. Through Nostradamus' eyes, Trump looks like the great king, full of power, shaking up the world, but spreading chaos too. It's strength and trouble rolled into one, leaving you wondering, is he here to save us or warn us? The mystery just hangs there, waiting for each of us to think it over. His return isn't just politics. The way Nostradamus reads it, it marks a turning point for all of us, where power and mess go hand in hand. That great king from the quatrain seems to be hitting real life in 2025. Trade wars, sickness returning, global tensions like never before. Daniel 7 talks about the little horn, an end times leader stirring up trouble. While Nostradamus sees Trump as a great king, the Bible warns from another angle. Daniel 7 mentions a little horn, an end times leader causing chaos. Could Trump be that guy? Let's see what Daniel 7 says. Daniel 7 describes 4 beasts standing for big empires: the lion for Babylon, the bear for Medo, Persia, the leopard for Greece, and the iron-toothed beast for Rome. The last empire, coming back through modern America and the EU, the little horn pops up from the 4th beast, an end times leader who brags, changes laws, and goes after God's people for 3.5 years. Modern takes from Got Questions and Life, Hope, and Truth put America in the 10 horns, with the little horn as someone starting wars and war rumors. In 2025, some folks see Trump as a temporary little horn. His return signals the fall of the fourth beast, modern America, and kicks off WW3, leading to God's kingdom, Daniel 7:27. If you line it up with Nostradamus' quatrain, you get two different views of Trump that still fit together tight. Nostradamus paints him as great king, powerful, world-changing, dropping fire but strong. Daniel 7 warns of him as little horn, stirring chaos, shaking rules, signaling end, time trials. This contrast builds a tricky picture. Trump's both a mighty king and a troublemaking leader. You've got to ask yourself, savior or bad sign? The clash makes him mysterious, interesting, and a little worrying. So, what do you think Trump really is? When you put those two predictions together, they snap into one picture in a surprising way. The cool part is, watching Trump today, what he does lines up with both sides. Like the great king, Trump's strong, decisive, shaking up politics in the world. His moves, from trade to global stuff, reach far and wide, just like Nostradamus' big leader. Like the little horn, Trump stirs chaos, pushes against laws and order, signaling tough times ahead, right out of Daniel 7. The two prophecies, Nostradamus and Daniel 7, seem to meet at the same moment. Trump showing up sets off huge shakes worldwide, from trade fights, diseases returning, to global tensions. No clear answer. You pick if he's a savior or a warning sign. But one thing's sure, Trump's comeback raises big questions about where humanity's headed. It makes us stop, look, and put ourselves between old prophecies and 2025 reality. Looking at Quatrain X, 72, and Daniel 7, the link's clear. Trump shows up as both powerful king and chaos bringer. This mix builds a picture full of strength and challenge, pulling everyone in to think about what's next. With this groundwork, the next step is checking out 7 strange signs in America in 2025, where those centuries-old predictions seem to be coming true right now. You ready to see the great king or little horn right in front of you? Now let's figure out together 7 mysterious things happening right here in America. Okay? Is God trying to send a message to all of us? 1. Fireball from the sky. Strange light ripping through the night. A guy in Oregon caught something on video that gave everybody the chills. Right in the middle of the dark night sky, a huge green fireball showed up and lit up a big chunk of the sky. No news warning, no weather report, boom. It just happened out of nowhere, like the sky cracked open with a secret nobody's ever seen before. That video spread like crazy online, but just seconds later, poof, it was gone, totally deleted. Scientists and sky experts rushed to check satellite data, radar, every gadget they had. But get this, they went quiet. No statements, no explanations, like somebody told them to keep it hush, hush. Folks watching are left wondering, was it a giant meteor from space or some rare sky event? But I don't think it's just some rare natural thing. Looking at it like a prophecy, Nostradamus wrote in Quatrain X, 72 about a fireball of great destruction, a ball of fire, warning of awful changes coming. That weird green glow in the dark sky feels like a big visual warning, hinting at power and chaos on the way. Don't you think it's spooky how a prediction from hundreds of years ago lines up with what's happening right in front of us? But it doesn't stop there. When you look at politics right now, Trump's comeback is like a great king in modern terms, bringing strength and big changes, but also scaring a lot of people. His tariffs, trade fights, and global tensions are like fire, right here on the ground, matching that strange sky light perfectly. So the fireball feels like a reminder that power and chaos always go hand in hand. The fireball isn't just a sky show, it's a clear warning. Daniel 7 talks about the little horn, an end times leader, paving the way for huge trials. Trump being here now is like a symbol of power. He makes changes, but also stirs up trouble. The light from above seems to match the shakeups he's causing, leaving folks scared and curious. And do you dare believe all this could be the starting sign of the big events the prophecies warned about? 2. The plague comes back when the past knocks on the present. Spring 2025. Hospitals in many states sounded the alarm all at once. A strange new virus showed up, a twist on the old COVID-19, spreading like wildfire. Health agencies rushed to look into it, but info was scarce. Some videos popped up online showing patients rushed into isolation rooms, machines beeping loud, total chaos. Then they got taken down fast. Scientists jumped right in. They studied the gene sequence, tested samples, and worked with WHO and CDC. Still, nobody could figure out why the virus came roaring back so quickly, or why the variant hit several states at the same time. Science had answers: natural mutation, changing environment, helping it grow, but none of that calmed folks down. What people saw was chaos, rising numbers, and that helpless feeling against a disease. In the middle of the worry, a few experts brought up old events and linked them to ancient prophecies. Nostradamus wrote in a quatrain about great pestilence from the past returns, a big plague coming back, spreading fear and shaking the world. That line felt alive again as the outbreak grew and things spun out of control. Then there's Daniel 7:25, talking about a leader who changes laws and causes chaos. Trump, with his cuts to healthcare and focus on the economy, got tied to the mess by a lot of analysts. Those moves put extra strain on hospitals, let the disease spread faster, and made it feel like everything was part of some predicted chain of events. The return of the plague reminds us how fragile we are against nature and politics. It's a real-life test and a prophecy coming true at the same time. Trump stands in the center, not as a hero, but as a symbol of power and unrest, hitting people's lives hard and stirring up worry across the country. This whole thing makes folks look back and wonder about the tie between today's news, political power, and those old prophecies. The panic in the air, mysterious science data, and the virus variant turn into a living story where past, present, and prophecy mix together, keeping everyone hooked on what happens next. 3. Civil War. Inside America falls into chaos. Right at 10:37 p.m. on the 14th of April 2025, the streets of Chicago exploded with violence. What started as regular protests turned into total mayhem. Fires shot up from burning trash cans, the sound of breaking glass echoed through the night, and thick smoke covered every block. Amateur videos caught the chaos, but most clips got wiped off social media fast, like someone wanted the truth hidden. Security teams rushed in, blocking roads and sending out riot police, but the violence kept spreading, way out of control. Social experts broke it down: deep political splits, fake news running wild, and hot-button policies lately. Even with the smart explanations, the scary pictures still gave folks chills, and viewers across the country couldn't look away from their screens. Looking at all this, history and politics experts couldn't help thinking back to old warnings that had been sounded long ago. Nostradamus, in Quatrain 6:97, talked about wars so cruel, fierce fights not just between countries, but right inside society. Daniel 7 warned about foes within and without, enemies from inside and out, tearing down the fragile order and peace. In 2025, Trump's comeback gets seen by a lot of modern takes as a great king. His power and bold words split the country, fire up the fights, and spark riots in the streets. Trump's both the center of power and the spark for the trouble, kicking off a chain of events that feel just like those ancient prophecies. These riots aren't just social stuff. They're like proof of warnings from hundreds of years back. People face the clashes. Confusion spreads everywhere, while experts try to explain, break it down, and warn. Everything seems tied straight to the prophecies of Nostradamus and Daniel 7, where political power and social splits come together in one big mess. The night of April 14 turns into a key marker in the 2025 chain of events, when Trump, the divided country, And those old prophecies all seem to meet, starting a stretch where the whole nation watches every twist, feels the chaos, but stays curious about what's next. Everything's going downright crazy, don't you think? 4. Economic downturn. America's economy shaken. On the morning of the 3rd of June 2025, government offices in Washington shut down. Folks lined up for blocks outside supermarkets, scrambling for whatever food was left on the shelves. Everything felt tense and scary, especially with word spreading that food aid had been cut by 32%. Economists jumped in right away with warnings. The stock market was crashing because of those new tariffs. The Dow Jones dropped thousands of points in just hours, and big companies stopped working. Experts said this wasn't just a short money crisis. It was a sign of deep trouble in society. Pictures of people waiting in line for food, empty store shelves, and closed government buildings reminded many of that old line, "Fortunes lost overnight," from Nostradamus. Today's economists tried to explain it. Trump's trade rules, broken supply chains around the world, but no one could ignore the fear spreading everywhere. Meanwhile, history and religion experts saw it differently. Some modern folks point to Trump as the little horn in Daniel 7, the one who starts big, wild changes for a while. His high tariffs and aid cuts get compared to Nostradamus talking about wealth gone in a single night, like a warning about power and what it can do to everybody. This downturn isn't just about money. It's part of old prophecies coming true. With markets falling, people going hungry, and the government too slow to help, these scenes prove what was predicted centuries ago. Trump, right in the middle of power, sets off the chaos and makes real those warnings of economic fire from the sky, so the whole country feels the results of power and fast change. All this puts America in a tough spot, but it also lets us watch how prophecy, policy, and everyday life mix together. People follow every hour, every minute, seeing what one leader can cause, and realizing the warnings from Nostradamus and Daniel 7 aren't just old stories. They're playing out right in front of us. 5. Big earthquakes hit out of nowhere. Whole California shakes. On the night of the 12th of July 2025, California and Oregon got hit hard. Buildings shook, furniture fell over, streets cracked open. Folks ran outside in the dark, emergency lights flashing, signaling a quake like nothing before. Geologists jumped in quick, clocking it at 7.8 on the Richter scale. Axial seamount, that underwater volcano in the Pacific, blew its top at the same time, shooting up huge smoke columns and big waves. Experts could only guess how the quake and volcano tied together, but the numbers didn't explain the chill running down everyone's spine along the coast. People caught giant smoke plumes and wild waves on their phones, videos spreading like wildfire. Scientists looked at the data, tried to calm everyone down, but couldn't deny something was off. These things seemed beyond what we know, stirring up fear and wonder about what's coming next. Earthquakes and volcanoes aren't just nature. Readings from Daniel 7 talk about earth shaking, a sign of chaos and power shifts. This quake brings to mind the roaring sea in Luke 21, where nature's signs warn of old empires falling and new power rising. Trump, right in the center of power in 2025, ties neatly into these predictions. His hot button policies, inner fights, and economic crises act like political and social tremors, making old prophecies come alive. People felt the ground move, water boil, chaos everywhere, just like analysts see this as proof of prophecies unfolding. Trump's seen as the spark for short-term mess, guiding the country through political and social quakes, every move fitting the picture of a great king or little horn, a strong force challenging the old order and setting up big changes. Every quake, every volcano smoke column, every worried smile on the street is a piece of the prophecy puzzle. When nature rages, society shakes, and power stands in the middle of it all, we see Nostradamus and Daniel 7 aren't just on paper anymore. They're alive right in front of us, making you look at America and wonder what's really going on and where will Trump take this country in these final days. 6. East Asia rises up, challenges U.S. power. Early on the morning of the 3rd of September 2025, Asian markets shook hard. China and the other BRICS countries suddenly stepped up their economic and military teamwork. U.S. stocks dropped sharply, and the big money buildings in New York seemed to tremble with every trade update. Folks at home watched TV and scrolled social media, stunned by the sudden burst of power coming from the East. Experts called it the East's organized comeback. Economists said the BRICS group was building a real rival to America, taking control of key energy and resources. China sped up its military growth while spreading its tech and business reach, keeping U.S. spies and think tanks on high alert. No one saw this coming. It hit all at once and caught the world off guard. Nostradamus once wrote, "East loses its light," meaning the East would shine bright, but also signal a big shift in world order. In 2025, with Trump slapping on heavy tariffs, trade rules got tough, tensions rose, and the risk of a full-blown economic clash, or even war, grew real. Ken Bist says 75% of the quatrains about World War III clearly show a showdown between West and East, where a great king steps up to shake the old system. Trump, leading America, sits right in the middle of all this. His tariff calls, energy crises, and trade fights don't just rattle the globe. They match the warnings Nostradamus left behind. Daniel 7 talks about foes within and without, enemies inside and outside, where U.S. power gets tested from home and from rival blocs. Trump, the great king, or little horn in the picture, sets off a political and economic storm that pushes the world to the edge of war. Viewers stare at the global map, glued to the flood of news, feeling uneasy but unable to look away. As the East lights up and America shakes, the old prophecies seem to come alive right in front of us, with Trump at the eye of the storm, guiding and challenging power at the same time. His tough policies and the world's reaction open the door to the final signs of chaos, a place where ancient predictions meet the reality of 2025. 7. A warning from the sky, blood moon, and planet parade. The American sky suddenly turned bright red from a rare blood moon on the night of the 28th of October, 2025, while planets lined up along the equator. Folks from the East Coast to the West Coast snapped photos, went live online, feeling both scared and spellbound. Astronomers quickly figured out the orbits, but couldn't explain why the moon's red glow was so fierce and lit up the whole land. NASA stayed quiet. No warnings at all. Experts said it was a rare sky event, mixing a total lunar eclipse with an odd planet lineup. The red light was stronger than anyone expected, making strange reflections on rivers and lakes, and even sky. Measuring gear acted up. Scientists called it the blood moon paradox, something never seen before, happening right when politics and money matters worldwide were in chaos, leaving sky watchers stunned and on guard. Nostradamus once wrote, "From the sky will come a great king of terror, a king from above, with blazing light and signs from high up." In 2025, many tied Trump's comeback to this picture. Daniel 7:27 talks of a kingdom from heaven, a kingdom from the sky, where final power shows up and brings a new order. The verses about a great king hint that these sky changes are warnings, and a leader rises to shape the times. The blood moon isn't just a sky show. It seems to whisper deep shifts in world power. Trump, back as the king of terror, stirs up policies and moves with awful strength in money, military, and politics. People watching the sky and the planet march feel like they're seeing prophecy come alive right in front of them. The mix of weird sky sights and real-world politics makes this mysterious and full of hints. The blood moon acts like a mirror for power, signaling big global turns. It's the last sign in a string of 7, where old prophecies meet 2025 reality, and Trump, leading America, sits at the heart of it all. Viewers can't look away from the sky or the news, feeling excited and curious, because every light and every move might be a clue to what's coming next. Looking back at this string of 7 strange events across America, from the blood, red moon in the sky, to natural disasters, diseases coming back, and riots breaking out inside the country, we see a weird pattern starting to show up. Each thing, even with scientific explanations, carries signs that old prophets warned about, like Nostradamus and Daniel 7. Nostradamus talked about a great king from the west showing up with signs from the sky, fire, and war. Daniel 7 predicted a little horn, a final-time leader who would change laws and start chaos. Watching what's happening in 2025, Trump's return seems to line up with these warnings, bringing big turns in politics, the economy, and society. But the main message isn't just about predicting one person. It's a reminder to wake up, stay alert, and look at everything from different sides. Don't blindly worship any leader. Put your trust in God and in values that last through time. Every choice and action can shape the future, and we need to know our own part in history's flow. After following these breakdowns and events, take a moment to ask yourself, in your view, who is Trump really? Great king or little horn? Do his actions, policies, and comeback bring hope or chaos? This isn't just a thought exercise. It's a chance for each of us to judge, think it through, and form our own opinion. We'd love to hear from you. Drop a comment below. Share your feelings, your take, and your personal view after seeing the whole chain of events and how they tie to the prophecies. Your thoughts don't just add to the talk, they help the whole group see the truth more clearly. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you catch the next breakdowns. Every bit of support spreads the word, wakes more folks up, and gives you a front row seat to mysteries unfolding. Let's watch together, search for light together, right in the middle of this era's hidden signs.
Ya van 2 veces que lo veo aquí mismo. No mames, mira, ahí está. Es un pinche duende, güey. Está sacando oro de la tierra, ¿lo estás viendo? Ahí está otra vez, ahí está otra vez, ahí está otra vez. No para quieto. Míralo. Está pecando de verdad. Míralo, está bien concentrado.
The Euphrates River is drying up. It's not just rumors or warnings anymore. It's a reality that's shocking the entire world. This river, seen as the soul of Mesopotamia, a symbol of life for humanity, now lies with a cracked, barren bed, giving off the musty smell of thousands of years buried beneath. But the scary part isn't the water receding, it's what's rising up from below. Strange noises echo through the night, like knocking, breathing, the hiss of some massive creature hidden deep in the earth. Locals are capturing unbelievable footage, caves opening up, patches of gold floating to the surface, and tiny, bizarre creatures lurking along the banks. They're not human, but they're not exactly animals either. Videos are popping up everywhere. Same time, same place, but from different angles, posted by different people. They all show the same thing, an ancient species waking up. Creatures about the size of a child, skinny, with pink, green, or sometimes ashy gray skin, long ears, and sly, cunning eyes. Some appear by streams, others hide in forests, barns, or right next to abandoned fields. They stare at humans, with eyes full of fear and curiosity, like this world once belonged to them. Science can't explain it yet, but those who believe in prophecy get it. When the sacred river runs dry, the seal is broken. The beings locked away for thousands of years, symbols of darkness, greed, sin, are now free. These creatures, embodiments of human greed, are out there roaming, stealing things, hoarding gold, lurking in the shadows. They're not here to attack, but to mirror humanity's own nature. Is this God's way of speaking to the world? That when greed, selfishness, and pride take over, we awaken the very darkness we once imprisoned? Is this the final warning? Are we heading back to a time when humans lose their dominance, reduced to something small before these fierce ancient beings? The Euphrates isn't just drying, it's opening a door to something never told. If you feel the world around us is changing, that the things mentioned in the Bible are starting to appear, then hit like, share this video, and subscribe to the channel so we can keep tracking these strange signs popping up everywhere. Every little action helps spread the message farther, so no one gets left behind as the truth starts to unfold. And make sure to watch till the end, so you don't miss any of the wild stuff happening in the world around us. Because what you're about to see isn't just random. The footage coming up, circulating online for years, has left the whole world curious and terrified. And remember, these are all unverified videos, with no official scientific conclusions. But real or fake, they still make humanity ask, what's really going on beneath the river the Bible once spoke of? Now we're going to dive into 7 videos that supposedly captured the moment some mysterious creature showed up along the Euphrates River. First video, Little Dwarf by the Stream. The first creature in the clip left the whole world speechless. Right in the middle of a crystal clear stream in the Middle East, this tiny figure, maybe the height of a 7-year-old kid, was bent over drinking water. Pink skin, messy hair, long pointy ears like something straight out of ancient times. No aggression, no gore, just a silence that gives you chills. The guy filming said the thing popped up for a few seconds, then vanished behind a rock. But the creepiest part isn't even the look, it's the feeling, like it knew it was being watched. Its eyes flicked over, locked on the lens, cold enough that tons of people had to pause the video halfway through. Some folks say it's CGI fakery. Others swear they've seen it, not just in the clip, but in recurring dreams after watching. A few even claim that when they slow the footage down, they hear this faint giggle, drifting on the wind like kids calling each other across a dried-up riverbed. If it's just an illusion, why does everyone feel the same shiver? If it's fake, how come the scenery, the sounds, the water's reflection all line up perfectly, real as hell? That question has the internet split between people convinced it's an ancient being and those who think it carries a divine message. In the Bible, there's a line repeated 1,000 times. As it was in the days of Noah, people were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage, until the flood came and swept them all away. Matthew 24-38. Could that little creature by the stream be a symbol of humanity's carefree attitude, oblivious, chasing fun, while the final signs play out right in front of us? Because while people are busy chasing profit and pleasure, nature is waking up. And every inch the Euphrates drops, another secret gets exposed. A wake-up call for anyone who still thinks the world runs only by its own rules. Is it a real creature, or just a spiritual mirror reflecting mankind, where greed and indifference are slowly taking shape? Because maybe the dwarf by the stream isn't just a weird being, it's a mirror staring right back at us. Second video, Gold-hoarding goblin in the night. A faint flashlight beam sweeps the ground, and there it is. A green-skinned, scrawny creature with pointed ears jutting back, bent over picking up gold nuggets from cracked earth. Every move is slow, sneaky, like it's terrified someone will snatch the treasure from its grasp. The guy filming says he caught this at dawn while out in the woods and spotted something moving. When he got closer, the lens nailed the shot of the thing, stuffing gold into an old leather pouch, its eyes glowing metallic gold, like polished metal, but also like a cursed soul. Slow the frames down and you see its hands shaking, movements frantic, as if it knows someone's watching or fears losing the hoard it guards. Some call it a gold goblin, but others say it's greed made flesh, because in a drying riverbed where people are desperate for water, the only thing this creature cares about is gold. The Bible warned, "For the love of money is the root of all evil." 1 Timothy 6:10. And in that moment, The clip doesn't just give you chills, it hits you with a terrifying truth. We're turning into that thing. We bend over, scrape together, fight for it, and call it life, while our souls dry up day by day, just like the Euphrates. Maybe the gold hoarding goblin isn't here to scare us. It's here to hold up a mirror, to show us what we're becoming. Because when wealth becomes an idol, we lose the image of our Creator and turn ourselves into something half human, half shadow. The water's receding, the gold surfacing, and human hearts are laid bare. Maybe, through that creature, God's reminding us nothing's worth more than the soul, and that when people only bow to hunt for gold, they'll never look up to see heaven. Third video, the chicken-stealing goblin. Right in broad daylight, with the sun beating down on the Euphrates forest, a tiny figure suddenly slips into frame. The locals caught just the back of this weird creature. Skinny, ash, gray skin, pointy ears sticking straight up. In its arms, a chicken flails weakly, and in a blink, it vanishes into the trees, moving like it knows every shadow by heart. The guy filming said at first he thought it was some kid messing around, but when he zoomed in, the limping gait, those little legs, the back hunched like it's been bent by years, it froze him solid. Nobody can explain it, something that small, out in the open like that? The clip blew up online, and what really creeps people out is the sunlight hitting its skin, dull gray, cracked like parched earth. It doesn't run, doesn't panic. It walks slowly, head down, clutching the chicken like it's a trophy or some ancient ritual. On the surface, it's simple, a petty theft. But underneath is raw instinct, taking life at any cost. The Bible warned us, the thief comes only to steal and kill and destroy. John 10:10. And that's the scariest part. Sin doesn't hide in the dark anymore. It walks out in daylight, right in front of us. And we treat it like no big deal. Maybe that thing isn't just a goblin. It's a symbol of sin creeping into human life, the kind that strips away our humanity before we even notice. Like a river running dry, people's hearts are hitting rock bottom, and the worst parts of us are coming into view. Maybe, through that tiny image, God is holding up a mirror to mankind. Because when all we do is bow our heads and scramble for scraps, we're no different from that creature, losing our souls, little by little. And when darkness can step into the light, that's when the world is being tested, to see who still has that last spark of light left in their heart. Fourth video, cornfield goblin. Midday heat shimmering. The corn rows taller than a man suddenly shake. A farmer's filming his crop for the books, but what the lens catches ain't ears of corn, it's some trembling thing out in the open. At first glance, it's kid-sized, face all creased like an old-timer, eyes sunk deep and flashing pure panic, skin gray, sun baked, quivering in the light like it's never seen the sun before. The guy hollers. The creature flinches, drops to its knees, then slips between the stalks, gone in seconds. The clip freezes on a frame that'll give you chills. That face whips around, eyes wide with confusion and despair. Not the glare of some wild animal, but the stare of a lost soul. Terror with no name, or maybe terror of the very light pouring down on it. The internet's buzzing. Some swear it's a corn goblin, others call it staged. But what keeps folks glued is the fear in those eyes. A bone, deep dread, like it knows there's no shadow left to hide under God's sky. The Bible says it plain, for nothing is hidden that will not be made manifest, nor is anything secret that will not be known and come to light. Luke 8:17. If the dark secrets are spilling out now, could it be the Lord showing us what mankind spent lifetimes burying? Look close at that wrinkled old face. Anybody see their own reflection staring back? We're aging in sin, weak in faith, scared stiff to face the truth. We duck into our own cornfields, patches of darkness where we figure nobody's watching, but the light's slipping through every leaf now, hitting every soul. Maybe that thing ain't a demon. Maybe it's a picture of us at the end of days, shaking, dodging, afraid to lift our eyes to the sky. Deep down, we know the clock's running out, and every cover's about to get ripped off. When these creatures start showing up in broad daylight, not to scare us, but to warn us, the light's closing in, darkness is fresh out of hiding spots. Maybe God's opening our eyes through the smallest, strangest things. One little creature, one trembling glance, carrying a message for the whole human race. Because when sin stops feeling shame and starts fearing the light, that's exactly when truth steps into the open. Fifth video, the goblin in the chicken coop. The chicken coop door flies open, and the hens screech in panic. In the dim, early morning shadows, this huge creature hunches over, using its long, spindly arms to snap the bars. Its fur is patchy, skin a dingy gray, black, eyes sunken like coal pits, cold and lifeless. The homeowner says he woke up to the sound of chickens thrashing around and metal clanging. When he checked the security camera, what he saw nearly stopped his heart. The thing looks right up at him, those empty black eyes reflecting the light like mirrors. Zero fear. But it only freezes and backs away into the shadows when the dog starts barking like crazy, then vanishes behind the fence. The footage captures it all in just a few seconds, but it's enough to give anyone chills. That tall, lanky frame, the jerky movements, those predator eyes, nothing like any animal we've ever seen. Some folks think it's a chicken hunting goblin. Others say it's some deep wood creature pushed out by all the changes in nature. But look closer, and you'll see it's like a metaphor for humanity itself. When darkness creeps into our everyday spots, when evil walks right into what we thought was safe, that's when the world's breaking apart piece by piece. The Bible warns, your enemy, the devil, prowls around like a roaring lion looking for someone to devour. 1 Peter 5-8. What made that thing back off wasn't the light. It was the bark, the wake-up call of life, the instinct to fight the dark. In the spiritual world, that's the echo of faith, 'cause darkness only gets strong when we're quiet, and evil only spreads when no one's speaking up. Maybe that goblin in the coop was just a trick of the eye, but on a deeper level, it mirrors our time, where sin's reaching into every home, every mind, every kid, and God lets it happen. So we'll wake up. Time to bark like that dog, to fight evil with the voice of faith. 'Cause when the darkness gets scared and pulls back, heaven's light can finally shine through. And sometimes, one barks in the night, it's a call from above, telling us to turn back before every door gets busted wide open. Sixth video, winged demon on the cliff face. Not a human shadow, not a bird. Halfway up the sheer rock wall, a slender figure with glass, thin wings clings tight to the stone, head tilted toward the lens. Ash, gray skin, eyes empty like they don't belong to this world. When it looks up, that stare cuts right through the screen, like it's peering straight into the viewer's soul. The clip was shot by a climbing crew in New Mexico, just a few shaky seconds, but it racked up millions of views and turned into a full-blown debate. Some swear it's an undiscovered flying creature, others insist it's a fallen angel, the one booted out of heaven. Those fragile wings don't glow, they tremble in fear, as if the light itself is something it doesn't want touching. What gives people chills isn't the weird shape, it's the twisted beauty, pitiful and terrifying at once. It's like a snapshot of our time. Evil doesn't look ugly anymore. It comes wrapped in glitter, sweet talk, and an almost angelic face. The Bible warned us. Satan himself masquerades as an angel of light. 2 Corinthians 11:14. That line echoes through the frame and sends shivers down your spine. Because the scariest thing isn't demons lurking in the dark, it's darkness slipping into everyday life, wearing a halo, preaching kindness, and steering hearts off course. That creature, wings shaking in the wind, eyes lost in the void, is us, humanity dangling between two worlds, not pure enough to fly up, not wicked enough to fall, stuck between rock and abyss, light and shadow, truth and lies. Maybe God let this moment be captured, not to scare us, but to wake us up. The age of deception is here, when the line between good and evil blurs, and angels of light can hide the slickest sins. Staring at that thing, we see ourselves tired, scared, still clinging to a crumbling ledge of faith. But remember, real light doesn't come from wings. It comes from a heart that knows how to turn back. Because no matter how perfectly darkness dresses up as an angel, there's only one light that never shakes, the light of the Creator. Final video. Little fairy fishing under the sun. Not in the dark, but right in the blazing midday light. A tiny creature sits fishing by the stream. Pale pink skin, messy hair, eyes squinting in the sun, tiny hands gripping a fishing rod made from a dry bamboo twig. The scene is strangely peaceful, like it could just be some kid messing around, until you realize, out there in the middle of nowhere, there's not a single human soul around. The guy who shot the video says the thing didn't freak out or bolt. It just looked up, gave a little smile, then went back to staring at the crystal clear water. Every move is slow, like it's been doing this for hundreds of years. There's something really sad about it, a quiet loneliness, like it doesn't belong to this world anymore, but can't leave either. The sight makes a lot of people think of a soul stuck between two shores, heaven and earth. A creature too gentle to be a demon, but too strange to be human. Maybe it's just a leftover from a time long gone, when earth and sky still mixed, when people hadn't lost the ability to talk to creation. Its image brings to mind an incredibly sacred message from the Bible. When they say peace and safety, then sudden destruction comes. 1 Thessalonians 5-3. That verse is like a wake-up slap, because sometimes fake peace is just the calm before the storm. Just like that little creature, calm by the stream, while far off, strange signs are popping up everywhere around the world. Maybe God is showing humanity a paradox. In the middle of chaos, some things still seem peaceful. But that's not real peace. It's just the last mask of a world about to shed its skin. The fishing creature doesn't bring fear. It brings sadness. The sadness of a world about to be judged, but still chasing comfort in the little things. And maybe its message is the final reminder. While the water's still clear, while the sun's still shining, stay awake. Because sometimes, peace is just the quiet moment before the sky shakes. Some folks say those creatures are just hallucinations, figments of fear. But how could 7 different spots, 7 different cameramen, 7 separate moments all catch the exact same thing? A tiny, trembling figure that still radiates this bone, chilling unease. And the weirdest part? They don't pop up just anywhere. Every location, every timestamp lines up perfectly with some spiritual hotspot or ancient site. Near rivers, near graves, near places once called gates of hell. Is something being unlocked? Something humans were never meant to see? The Bible mentions the Euphrates River, the line between light and dark. In Revelation 9:14-15, John wrote, "The 4 angels who had been bound at the great river Euphrates were released to kill 1/3 of mankind. And now, as that river's actually drying up, are these little shadows just coincidence? Or the first sign that the seals are breaking? Pay attention, 7 creatures, 7 different forms, but every single one wears the same blank expression. They're like mirrors reflecting the human soul when it's stained by the 7 root sins the Bible warned about. The first one just stares dead into the lens. That's apathy. No fear, no anger, no tremble, just staring. The same way people look at each other today. Empty eyes, zero empathy. The second shows up next to an abandoned pile of gold. That's greed. It claws at the dirt, like it's hunting for something it'll never have enough of. Same as us, the more we get, the more we feel empty. Third is deception. Only ever appears in mirrors, never in real life. A faint shadow lurking over the cameraman's shoulder, smirking the second the lens swings away. Is that the symbol of a world where truth gets twisted in its own reflection? Then comes fear, shivering under a tree like a soul on the run. It stands for humanity's panic, Once we stop believing in God, we start fearing everything, except our own sins. Fifth is violence. It flashes by next to a gutted animal carcass. Nobody knows who did the killing. We just know the scene looks exactly like what humans keep doing, to each other and to the planet. Sixth is fraud. Shape-shifting non-stop. In the clip it turns human, then vanishes like smoke. Just like today's world, everything can be fake, from news to feelings, promises to faith. And last is pride. The little thing standing tall in the woods, arms wide, head tilted to the sky. It's us when we think we can rule nature, even God. But the higher it lifts its chin, the longer its shadow stretches, and the darkness is swallowing the world. If those 7 things are real, maybe they're just symbols. But sometimes symbols are scarier than monsters, because they show what humans are turning into. A world where good, evil, real, fake, angel, demon, the lines are fading. Maybe these aren't just 7 weird creatures. They're 7 mirrors showing 7 layers of sin. And when the chains come off, it won't be from hell, it'll be from inside us. As the Euphrates runs dry, the water isn't just exposing the riverbed, it's laying bare the depths of human nature. Like the prophecy, when the waters recede, what was hidden will be revealed. Maybe what's being revealed isn't monsters, it's souls begging to wake up. Remember, the devil doesn't need to show his face to run the world. He just needs people to stop believing in good. And maybe that's the real meaning of the 4 angels bound. They're not locked in iron chains, but in human arrogance. When they're released, it's not to destroy, it's to wake us. To remind us that when we forget the Creator, the world unlocks its own sealed doors. Those videos, still unverified, are making the whole planet ask, is God speaking to us through these chilling images? Is this the moment for humanity to look in the mirror before the last chain snaps? Stay awake, because the scariest thing isn't those creatures. It's when people see the signs and still treat them like entertainment. Every video, every chilling moment that makes your skin crawl, it's not just some spooky mystery. It's a mirror flipped back on us, on a humanity that's slowly losing the light in its eyes. Those creatures, whether real or just twisted shadows of our fears, reflect the deepest truth. The human soul is drifting away from the light of its Creator. When hearts overflow with greed, fear, lies, and cold indifference, we don't need to wait for demons to claw their way up from the earth. We're the goblins, breaking free from our own chains, free but lost. We call it civilization, progress, personal freedom, but really, it's invisible ropes dragging us farther from heaven. The Euphrates is drying up, but it's not just the water running low. It's faith, mercy, humility before the Creator, all draining away. With every retreating current, every exposed rock, it's like the marks of a parched soul, barren of spiritual life. Maybe God didn't dry the river to reveal the muddy bottom, but to lay bare the human heart. Because while the physical river runs dry, the spiritual one is cracking open in every heart that's forgotten how to bow in prayer. And in that moment, the images we watch, just a few clicks away, they're signals. Signals that ancient prophecies are unfolding, step by step, sign by sign, tremor by tremor in the earth and sky. Not to scare us, but to wake us up. Today's world has everything, except real peace. We chase noise, chase artificial light, forgetting that sometimes God only speaks in the silence. He doesn't use thunder to warn. He uses a drying river, a blood, red moon, even the smallest things to remind us time is running out. Jesus' words in Matthew 24-42 rang out over 2,000 years ago, but today they hit harder than ever. Therefore, keep watch, because you do not know on what day your Lord will come. Keep watch, not with your eyes, but with your spirit, not out of fear, but by returning to faith. Because the real terror isn't demons showing up. It's when people stop believing they need saving. Maybe those creatures in the videos are just illusions, internet pranks, products of doubt. But one thing's certain, humanity is pushing right up to its own edge. When the land cracks, the rivers vanish, the sky shifts color. Every prophecy once dismissed as myth is turning real in ways that chill you to the bone. Look again. The rivers stopped flowing, but you can almost still hear the water echoing in the wind. That sound isn't nature, it's a call from above. A reminder that when the water returns, will we still hear him? Or will our hearts be so cold that no one even looks up? We're living in the space between myth and truth, science and prophecy, man and maker. The choice isn't believe or not believe anymore, it's prepare or don't. Because one day, when the last wind blows through that empty riverbed, it won't be a warning anymore, it'll be the sound of a door closing. If you're still here, still listening, still searching for answers, come with us on this journey. Like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss what's next, where every sign, every prophecy, every image in Scripture slowly reveals the big picture humanity forgot, the return of the King of Heaven.
What is that thing? Green flash is thought to be from the nickel in the metallic meteor burning in Earth's atmosphere.
When he looked up to the sky at his home in Oregon, he saw these super bright streams of light shooting across the...
No one knows where it started. All we know is the sky suddenly started looking back. A woman in Pembroke was swimming when she saw a light tear across the sky, plummet straight into the water, swirl flames around her, and vanish. No explosion, no smoke, just the lake's surface still as glass, as if the sky had swallowed itself. At first, everyone thought it was a hallucination. But just days later, from California to Texas, hundreds of people captured the same thing. Glowing masses, moving with intelligence, shifting direction against the wind, then blinking out in the clouds. The news spread across America. It was no longer a rumor. It was a reality no one dared name. Scientists talked about plasma, atmosphere, mirage. The military talked about unidentified objects. And the people, they just said, it's not from this world. But those lights were only the beginning. Because right after, the seas changed color, the earth shook, and the sky began to sound trumpets. What's happening above us? A signal? A warning? Or the call of heaven after thousands of years of silence? Before we go on, if you believe what's happening isn't just coincidence, hit like, share, and subscribe. Every small action helps spread this message to more people. People also searching for answers to what's unfolding around them. Because the next part is no longer rumor or theory. It's a chain of real events, recorded and matching ancient prophecies in ways that send chills down your spine. And now, let's dive into the journey of the unnamed lights, from mystery to worldwide. The woman in Pembroke wasn't the only one looking up at the sky with wide-eyed wonder. As her video spread, hundreds of other reports started pouring in, from quiet countryside in Massachusetts to neon-lit highways in Florida. They were all describing the same thing, lights that didn't belong to this world. At first, people figured they were just satellites, planes, or some ordinary refraction trick. But then, those orbs, they'd change direction in ways that shouldn't be possible, vanish in a blink, then pop up somewhere else across the sky, faster than even military radar could track. A witness in Minnesota recounted, voice shaking. It just hovered. Then, like someone flipped a switch, the sky went empty. No boom, no trace, just silence. Silence. That silence that set the whole internet buzzing. Videos, photos, reports flooded NASA, the FAA, even the Department of Defense. But the official line was always, "We're looking into it." Little by little, people started calling them by a new name, UAP, Unidentified Aerial Phenomena, a fancy way to dodge the word UFO. But everyone knew these things weren't man-made. From the US, the sightings spread worldwide. In South America, Folks in Argentina and Chile caught orbs of light showing up right alongside minor earthquakes. In the Middle East, soldiers patrolling the Iraqi desert snapped a triangular object hovering high above, then melting away like mist. Even in Egypt, that ancient land of gods, tourist cameras caught a string of lights floating over the Giza pyramids, circling the stone peak like they were watching something. Plenty of people thought of the Bible verse, "The powers of the heavens will be shaken." Luke 21:26. What's even creepier, they appeared at the same time, same moment, in skies thousands of miles apart. Scientists couldn't explain it. The military wouldn't deny it. And the media? I just stayed quiet. Big outlets like CNN, Fox News, BBC ran quick blurbs, then yanked them down fast. Anyone trying to post real clips said their videos disappeared for no reason or got slapped with unverified content. It was like some invisible hand was covering the sky, making the truth as hazy as those lights themselves. A UAP researcher in the States admitted in a short interview, if this was just a natural phenomenon, why the gag order on radar data? That question made everything scarier. Because if humans aren't in control of what's flying over our heads, who is? A lot of folks started turning to the Bible for answers. Revelation 8:10 says, "A great star, blazing like a torch, fell from the sky." Some religious scholars think these orbs might be early warning signs, like dashboard lights for humanity, hinting something huge is coming. Still, scientists stuck to their neutral stance. NASA set up a UAP task force, but after months, the official report just said, no evidence of extraterrestrial life. That didn't calm anyone down. It only fanned the flames. On forums, people shared seeing lights flying in a cross pattern, lights stopping and spinning like eyes looking down. In Florida one night, the whole sky turned pale purple, then flashed 3 times. Exactly like Revelation 16:18, there was lightning, rumblings, and a great earthquake like never before. Nobody can say for sure if these things are connected, but the frequency and scale have people convinced it's no coincidence. Every week, new videos. Every month, new official reports. And every time, the sky feels closer, brighter, more terrifying. Some priests and pastors in the US have spoken out. This might not be aliens. It could be signs of the end times, when the lights in the sky aren't daylight anymore, but a wake-up call. That quote blew up across social media like a reminder that what's happening isn't just science, it's a call from above. People today are used to staring down at screens, forgetting to look up, but maybe the sky wants them to look up, to see what they've ignored for too long, signs from the Creator. And as those lights keep appearing, stretching from North America to Europe, from deserts to oceans, maybe the question isn't, what are they anymore? It's, why now? Is something drawing near? Something humanity was warned about, but didn't believe? Could this be the knock at the door from Revelation 3:20? Behold, I stand at the door and knock. If anyone hears my voice and opens the door, I will come to him. If so, maybe those lights aren't here to scare us, but to wake us. Not to warn of darkness, but to remind us the light is still trying to find its way into human hearts. From the viral video clips, scientists were quick to offer explanations: natural plasma phenomenon, magnetic field reflections, or ionospheric disturbances. They said the red lights, the brilliant swirling streaks across the sky, were just the fallout from space weather, a chain of natural reactions. It sounds plausible, but it feels off somehow, because nothing on record before has ever looked or sounded quite like this. Another group suspects military testing, a new kind of energy weapon, or an ultra-advanced space surveillance system. They point to the overlap between where these events happen and secret military bases. It could be an experiment, or it could just be human deception. But if it really is us, who gave anyone permission to mess with things that belong in God's hands? Meanwhile, amid all the analysis and debate, Many people sense something science can't measure, a presence. Some say it's not just light, it's a call, as if the sky itself is speaking or warning that something is about to be revealed. While science tries to separate faith from what the eyes see and ears hear, the Bible has long said, there will be signs in the heavens, and on earth unusual wonders. Luke 21:11. Maybe the scientists aren't wrong about plasma and magnetic fields, but they're only seeing the surface. The deeper meaning, the message, belongs to a layer no instrument can detect. Think about it. Every event, from red tides staining rivers to swirling lights in the sky, lines up eerily with the world's moments of tension. Wars, earthquakes, famines, and protests spilling everywhere, like a chaotic symphony with the drumbeat speeding up. Science calls it coincidence, but Scripture says, when you see these things, know that the day is near. Luke 21:31. Caught between reason and faith, many are starting to wonder, maybe science isn't the enemy of belief, but just the outer shell of a greater truth? Like a mirror reflecting light, but never the light itself. Researchers talk about magnetic fields, while believers see warnings. Two parallel paths, but both lead to the same unavoidable question. If it's not aliens, then who's putting these signs in the sky? Who's knocking from the other side of the universe? When science falls silent before the inexplicable, the faithful recall Matthew 24:30. Then the sign of the Son of Man will appear in the heavens. Maybe each ring of light isn't an experiment, but a reminder that heaven is still watching, and what's unfolding isn't random. It's a story already written. Science speaks of atmospheric layers, ion particles, Earth's magnetic field. But faith speaks of awakening. Every sign in the sky, whether labeled nature or omen, points to a reality we'd rather forget. We're not the center of the universe. And perhaps, while the world argues over where that phenomenon came from, the most important thing is being missed: the message and who it's from. Questions about the true origin of these strange signs are dividing the world. Science talks about plasma and magnetic fields. The military talks about technology. But there's a voice echoing through time, not from a lab or an observatory, from the ancient pages of the Bible. And strangely enough, what people are witnessing today seems to have been written down thousands of years ago. In the book of Ezekiel, Ezekiel 1-4:12, the prophet says, he saw a fiery cloud rolling in from the north, with flashing lightning and living creatures moving by the Spirit. That description, if read through modern eyes, is no different from the footage phone cameras have captured in the sky over the past few months. Streaks of light moving without pattern, clouds glowing red like fire. Could Ezekiel have seen something similar thousands of years ago, when humanity didn't even have a word for plasma phenomenon? The Bible doesn't just describe what people can see. It speaks of signs only the Spirit can sense. In the book of Joel, Joel 2-3-4, it says, before them fire devours, behind them flame blazes. They charge like the army of heaven. The image of heaven's army, when held up against massive electromagnetic storms or swarms of locusts sweeping the land, suddenly stops being a metaphor. The word army sounds symbolic, but in this age, it becomes an exact description of natural forces beyond human control. The book of Acts, Acts 2:19, puts it even more clearly. I will show wonders in the heavens above and signs on the earth below: blood, fire, and smoke. Those three elements, blood, fire, smoke, aren't just symbolism. Blood, like the red rivers in the Middle East and South America. Fire, like the pillars of light and blazing lightning in the clouds. Smoke, like the thick black dust covering the sky after every major eruption or wildfire. Every time nature rages, those ancient words get reread in real-time images. When Ezekiel speaks of 4 living creatures moving by the Spirit, he's describing an invisible order, where everything in the sky obeys one power. What science calls natural phenomena, the Bible calls the language of heaven. And that makes you wonder, if heaven wants to speak to humanity, what voice would it use besides nature itself? Something everyone can see, but not everyone can understand. In the book of Revelation, Revelation 8, John writes of 7 angels blowing trumpets, and with each blast, a disaster falls on the earth. Those trumpets could be symbols of warning, but when scientists record strange sounds deep inside the earth, low, rumbling tones like distant trumpets, people start to feel a chill. The 7 trumpets John described, were they only sacred imagery, or do they actually exist in the vibrations of this planet? Some will say it's just coincidence, that what the Bible wrote is mere metaphor. But what coincidence repeats itself so precisely? Lightning in the clouds, blood rain, fire in the air, smoke from the ground, all mentioned in Scripture. Maybe the only coincidence is that humanity is only now starting to pay attention when the signs have become too obvious to ignore. The modern world is used to finding answers through machines, forgetting that the Bible saw millennia ahead. When nature rages, we call it atmospheric phenomena. When the sky glows red, we say air pollution. But the Bible calls it the voice of heaven, not a voice to destroy, but to awaken. And that's the truly frightening part. Not that the signs are happening, but that humanity no longer has the ears to hear them. Nature has sounded the trumpet many times, but the world is so loud, no one stops to listen. When John wrote of 7 trumpets, he wasn't just talking about disaster. He was talking about the start of a new cycle. Each blast opens a door and offers a chance to turn back before it closes. Maybe that's what's happening now. Not the end of the world, but a warning that the time to change is running out. The signs don't come to terrify. They come as heaven's language, needing no translation, but requiring an awake heart to understand. You might see that light and call it physics, but to the faithful, it's a reminder, I am still here. In a world increasingly dependent on machines, it's ironic that nature, the very thing we thought we understood, is now the teacher humbling us about our pride. Every flash across the sky, every rumble deep in the earth, seems to say, don't forget who made the universe. And looking back at the chain of signs, from blood, fire, and smoke to the invisible trumpets, people realize the Bible isn't telling old stories. It's happening right now. In heaven's eyes, nothing is random. So when we look up at the glowing sky, instead of asking, what is it? Maybe the better question is, what are you trying to tell us? When the ancient prophecies begin to align with the phenomena unfolding, humanity seems unable to remain on the sidelines any longer. From lights in the sky, now the earth, the oceans, and the atmosphere are all trembling. Nature, which has been regarded as silent for thousands of years, suddenly seems to have a voice, a powerful voice, echoing from the depths of the earth, from the ocean waves, from the clouds, and even from the fear spreading across humankind. If in the past, people looked up to the heavens for strange signs, now those signs are appearing right beneath their feet, images that seemed impossible. Seas turning red, locusts swarming the land, and trumpet sounds ringing from the clouds. These are now breaking news, appearing across international broadcasts. And what chills many the most is this. Every single one of these things was mentioned, word for word, in the Bible. In 2025, the Sea of Galilee, where Jesus once walked on water, suddenly one day turned red as blood. The water was no longer clear and blue, but shifted to an eerie, deep crimson, prompting locals to exclaim, "It's just like what happened in Exodus." And indeed, in Exodus 7:20, Moses raised his staff and struck the river, and the water turned to blood. The fish died, and the river stank. Scientists offer explanations, perhaps red algae, or a chemical reaction in the lake. But whatever the cause, that eerie feeling lingers. Because it's not just one place. Many other seas around the world are turning the same color, from Florida to Egypt, from Turkey to Chile. That red flow is like a streak of blood spreading across the globe, painting a familiar image from the Bible, the first sign in the series of warning plagues. And what sends shivers down spines even more is that this very place, the Sea of Galilee, was once mentioned as the starting point for the miracles of the Lord. Could it be that when the land of miracles turns red, it's not coincidence, but a reminder